back. Tell me if you want me to mute or not. Oh, 1 second. Well then, hello my GP2 friends. Hello. It is me, Robert Ionescu, your main commentator, and I will be joined by Joseph Willows in just a little bit, but at the moment he is away due to being busy, but he should be back here soon enough. And yeah, everyone can hear me okay, right, Flo? All right. We had last time out in Jerez de Frontera, we had Alex Broster on top for HWA Arden. Wait, no, not HWA Arden. BWT HWA, because Arden is no more in the name. Yeah, in his first day. However, no time to celebrate. The teams have already made the flight to Britain. We've arrived here in Silverstone, home of British motorsport and one of the best racetracks in the world. Like I said, I will be joined by Joe a little bit later, but until then, we've got some news to tell you. We will tell you the voted track, which will be the season debut, replacing Bahrain. There is something else to tell you alongside with that, but not right now. We'll tell you only at the end of the session. So yeah. Till then, it's time to see what the weather is going to be like. So then for this test, just like in Jerez, it's going to be bone dry. No surprises there, no threat of rain whatsoever. Alrighty then, are you guys excited for the session? I sure am, and I hope you are as well. Hello Jesus, hello Dennis, hello Nico. Good to see all of you there in the chat. Hopefully you can get some more people to join you. Here we go. It was Broster on top last time out with Waldinger in second, and Patel in third. Waldinger, his streak of topping test days has come to an end. I'm sure he'll want to take his revenge in Britain. Right. Looks like we got a car going out. Who could that be? We'll see. Right, now Waldinger is on his way to the pit lane exit, and Flo has just told me the first round, which will be beep. And I'm afraid I can't tell you just yet. You're gonna have to wait just about an hour until you guys find out as well. Anyway, we got some cars out on track. Can I give them a little hint? Yeah, I noticed, Flo, you fixed the Sega logo on Waldinger's car. Yes. Flo, let me know if I'm allowed to tell them a little hint. Okay, Flo, then I will not tell them the fact that the race is in the Northern Hemisphere. Race is in the Northern Hemisphere. There you have it. If you thought it was gonna be Brazil or South Africa or Australia or something like that, I'm afraid it's not it. Anyway, Joel Warson is first out on track, and he'll be beginning his first push lap in just a few moments' time. So then, here he goes. Here goes Joel Warson, starting his first flying lap of the day. Here he goes, in towards Zabby, going flat out even in the GP2 car, and continuing to carry that speed to the left of Farm, braking hard into Village, to get on the throttle very early, to the loop, brake early, get on the throttle as quick as you can, carry that speed to a flat out or left-hander of Aintree, as it launches you onto the Wellington Straight, the first overtaking opportunity of the circuit. Warson is at 29.9, the opening sector. A little bit of a tentative line into Brooklands as Joe has just arrived to join me. Hello there, Joe.
Hello, yeah, I finally made it. Apologies for that. I was given a demonstration by Rick, really, because of course, for this season we have a new tweak with the rating system, and I needed to see how you would present it. But I've been taught it now, so that's all good.
All good. You didn't miss anything really because we're still on Joe Larson's first flying lap as he approaches Chapel. Would you like to take us for Sector 3?
No, you can do the rest of the lap, of course. It'd be a bit pointless for me to commentate the rest of the lap.
Well, he's out to the hangar straight. Lap next comes one of the fastest corners of the circuit. It's snow. You can go as wide as you can, but don't bite off the track limits. The stewards are not gonna like that. Next lap is the Vale chicane. You gotta brake hard, late, and with purpose, and then carry some speed out of a good exit into club. Be afraid to carry as much speed as you can. Just make sure you don't unsettle the car. As Larson finishes his first lap with 1 minute 39.6. Which immediately gets beaten by Henry Watzel.
Yeah, Watzel beat it by 7 tenths, and now Perinen's gone to the top by 5 tenths of a second with a 1:38.309.
Well, he's found some form after finishing 20th in Jerez, as Kyle Burns goes into 4th place.
Yeah, indeed. And the lap time's coming in thick and fast in this final day of preseason testing.
Svaliger is now quickest as Gabriel Quintino is next to cross the line. Could he take it away from him? No, he only goes third fastest.
Yeah, indeed. Now, I don't know if Rob has already pointed out about this, but we do know what round 1 is, but we won't tell you until after the session.
I did say. As Patel finishes his lap, he's impeding Chabot and the high-tech. As there's Graf goes second, good lap from him. What about Nicholas Zorbach? Doesn't appear to be the greatest of laps. He's holding up Aaron Curtis, who goes in level fastest.
I'm just doing something at the moment, Rob.
Right, Skillen went 8th quickest. As Juan Nguyen goes 19th. Good to see him back in GP2. Larson is on another push lap, and he is up in the middle sector by 800ths of a second. Let's see if he can keep up that momentum. He's going down in 20th. If he can improve just a little bit, who knows? He could climb a position or 2. From board to Larson, it's a very quick line to Stowe as Curtis tries to make a move on Zorbach. Unsuccessfully, I'm afraid.
Yep, indeed. As I think I've just about finished now. So Curtis currently getting held up by the HWA at the moment. That won't serve him any good. Obviously, Curtis struggled yesterday, if you may remember, in practice.
Yeah, I'm afraid he did. As Rena has improved to go 17th fastest. As Joe Larson, unfortunately, he couldn't improve.
Valdinger currently at the top. Obviously came close to being at the top yesterday, but obviously got beaten in the end by Alex Broster, who's only 11th that time, boys. He just was just able to improve to get...
Oh, and Santino Androli has improved as well. He's got up into 8th place. Meanwhile, Patel's been overtaken by Chobot in the high-tech.
Yeah, indeed. Patel looking not to get the best of starts as his teammate Kulazek has gone into... No, that's not his teammate. That's somebody else's teammate. Well, his teammate's up in 3rd position at the moment is Patel, so a bit off his teammate at the moment. What I was going to say is Kulazek has actually gone up into 15th. Meanwhile, Watterson looks like he's on improvement again.
Yeah, yet again, but it looks like the Art Grand Prix behind him might be catching up to him. I believe that could be Henry Watzel. Or is it something It has to be Henry Watzel.
That is an ART car, so it's either Watzel or Farina that's currently behind him. In the meantime, Max Skillen in the high-tech has gone up into 5th position.
In the Prima, not in the Art Grand Prix. My bad. Anyway, Larson is off by 900 in the middle sector.
There's Broster then, the HWA. He's got a Prema breathing down his neck. Not sure which Prema it is that's breathing down his neck at the moment.
Either way, the man probably won. Let's see if he can improve in the middle sector as well. It's like he can, but only by 300ths of a second.
The Prema is on the left-hand side of him. I'm not sure which Prema it is, though.
He's going for the move either way as the camera cuts at an awkward time. Larson doesn't improve by 0.5 tenth. Neither does the Art Grand Prix car behind him. Rena has improved, however. He's gone up into 16th.
Meanwhile, into turn 3 to go now then. Watson continuing to hold up the ART. I'm not sure which ART it is he's holding up. But,
either way, Burns has improved to go into 11th fastest.
Yep, some more lap times going for that. Andrioli, meanwhile, goes up to 7th in the Prema. As meanwhile,
looks like he's trying to pass Broster, but not into
And that's
turn
actually
3.
Valdinger is behind Broster.
It is,
'cause,
right. Maybe
because-
a little bit out for vengeance, I'd say.
Maybe, as Watterson currently he's still green in the first sector, but he's still holding up the ART behind us. Chobot goes
Chobot
up
has
into
improved
third
to third.
position.
Patel has improved to 18th, and Patel has improved to 19th. Meanwhile, now here goes Watzel. And
Curtis.
third is moved to the top.
Zorbach is in 21st. He slightly improves on his time, but Curtis goes to the top by 39 pounds a second, getting in front of his former teammate Bence Valdinger.
Indeed, and Henry Watzel's lap time is massively compromised as it stands. Joel Watson is currently last. The runners. Now Valgar out of cops. He tried the move there. Broster, but I'm afraid he couldn't pull it off.
He's right on board. Watson down in the middle sectors now. The ART is finally going to get past.
Got him.
And it has done.
Now Watzel is through.
As now Valding is still stuck behind Broster at the moment as his teammate Andreoli is getting close by.
Yeah, but I doubt the Frenchman will have to deal with any sort of traffic, so he'll be good. Watzel's lap majorly compromised, he didn't improve, and he'll be coming into the pits as a matter of fact.
His teammate Farina, meanwhile, has gone up into 13th as Tomaselli
So
goes
has
to
Tomaselli.
14th.
Up in the Campos, the Red Bull test driver, up in 14th place he goes. However, he should be aware that livery doesn't particularly bode well in Silverstone. If you know, you know. As Antioli has improved yet again, stays in 8th place.
Yep, as he's currently finds himself 3 thousandths behind Mohamed Osman Ahmed at this point in time.
And the Indonesian is in the pits.
Yep, but doing a good job at the moment in P7 at this point in time. Graf, meanwhile,
Outside.
still getting held up by, I believe, that is it Patel he's coming up to the back of? It is Patel.
No. Oh, it is Patel actually. Right.
Yeah, it is Patel that he's currently stuck behind because I believe that is the Uni Virtuosi that's in front.
Once you guys
Potsuit, meanwhile.
improved.
Yep.
These two guys, they've been on track a lot during practice last season for the top class. I guess now they're racing each other so they can compete with the big boys. As neither of them have a seat anymore.
5 tenths down in the first sector compared to Curtis's Graf. He's 4 tenths off his personal best, so it's not looking to be a good lap for the German as he's going to be continued to be held up by Patel at this rate.
I'll imagine he'll pit at the end of the next lap or so. I don't think he's got much longer left in his stint. Anyway, on the run towards cops, he's gonna try to get him.
Yep, as Graf meanwhile goes around Cop's corner.
Didn't quite pull it off, but Joel Watson has improved, gets himself out of last place to go up into 18th.
Yep, 18th place for the Kiwi, but still not ideal for him at this point in time, as well as his teammate is currently at the top of the timing sheets.
Yep, Graf, unable to improve, naturally. 1 second down in the middle sector, and I gotta say, his lap and Curtis were very close, judging by that comparison. Anyway, Graf makes the move. They're very close.
Andreoli, meanwhile, has gone up into 7th position. Just want to add, he gets above Hamid, so up into 7th goes the Frenchman.
To quote Breaking Point, there goes another place.
Yep. As
Andreoli tiptoeing his way through the table and gaining 1 position at a time. Joe Larson still on his opening stint. Is improving the first sector. Let's see if he can keep it up in the middle one. Line out of cops. Carried all the speed he could as Max Gillen has gone into 4th place, the Scotsman.
4th and 5th so far, the 2 high-tech cars. So far a good day session so far for the high-tech Grand Prix team.
There's an improvement from Nguyen. He's got up into 16th meanwhile.
Larson losing time in the middle sector because he was green on in the first sector, but now he's lost time again in the middle sector, so appearing to struggle with that second sector at the moment is Watterson.
Indeed. Meanwhile, Gabriel Quintino will be coming in this lap. Does appear to be on an improvement either way.
Yep, and the very beautiful liveried Campos car, of course, the Banco do Brasil. And let's see what his second sector is.
If you switch those colors around, it would look a lot like my Eldorado. If you know, you know.
Yep, indeed. Similar colour scheme, isn't it? So,
I guess just that it has blue where it's supposed to be yellow and yellow where they're supposed to be blue. But it's very nice either way.
Yep, indeed. I think obviously Watson is coming back into the pits this lap. Obviously struggling. He'll want to put on a fresh set of boots and see if he can try and get a little bit further up the field, considering, as we mentioned just a little bit earlier, that his teammate Curtis is currently at the top at the moment.
Yep, indeed. I wouldn't even blame Martin. He's been at it for 7 laps. Of course, a little bit of tire wear must have kicked in. And clearly his chance of getting the best lap possible, well, he's going to have to wait for another stint, that's for sure.
Absolutely, as Watterson now makes his way towards Cop's Corner. So at the moment, the leaderboard currently as it is, it's Curtis from Valdinger, then Graf, Skillen, Chobot, Perinen, Andreoli, Hamid, Protziu, Quintino, Watzel, Burns, Farina, Tomaselli, Broster, Nguyen, Kulizek, Sinanone, Watterson, Suto, Patel, and Zorbak.
Yeah, thank you, Joe. And I just noticed, very interesting to point out, meanwhile Hamid improves, knocks Andreoli back down to 8th. And what I was saying is Aaron Curtis, by the skin of his teeth, is the only driver in the 1 minute 37s. So 994, actually.
Indeed, only just able to get into the 1 minute 37s. Meantime, Perinen's about to finish a lap, but I don't know if he's going to improve that time by.
I'm not sure. Dennis Graf is on one right now. He's about to enter Cops. And let's see what he's got in those tires. Or if he's going to have to pit come next lap. Well, Broster improves. Good effort there. Gets himself into the top 10. Knocks Quintino down to 11th.
Yep, so up into P9 goes the man who topped yesterday's session in Jerez. But still needs to find 5 attempts if he wants to make it 2 out of 2 in terms of preseason tests.
Yep, indeed. As Dennis Graf appears to still be down on his personal best, or by Max Killen. He's still down by narrowly, and I gotta say, look, he matched Aaron Curtis in the middle sector, so the difference was made in the last sector, which was monstrous for Curtis. He gained 2 tenths in there, as Burns and Suto have both improved. Burns to P5, Suto to P17.
So big improvement there from Burns. In fact, those two, of course, being teammates at Charouz, but only one of them was able to get into 5th and the other one in 17th. So.
And looking at those sector times, Aaron Curtis is incredibly strong in the last sector today. If you saw earlier, he and Skill and their best laps were identical through sector 1 and 2, but in sector 3, Curtis was able to just find something else and push him 2 tenths over the Scotsman.
And on board now then with Santino Andreoli, who's coming back into the business lap. Hammett improved just a little bit further, but
Zorbak is going up into 16th.
That pushes Patel now down into last position behind Watterson. Into Maggots and Beckett's goes Andreoli, of course going back into this lap, as Graf is currently up on his personal best in the first sector, but it doesn't matter because he's coming into the pits this lap.
Yep, indeed. It's been quite a long stint, 8 laps already on his tires, and I think Dennis Graf will take just a little bit of a break before he goes out back on track.
Well, at the moment, as Broster meanwhile improves a little bit more to go up into 9th position, so he just needs to find just under 4 tenths now to get a hold of Curtis.
Indeed. I really like what we've been seeing recently. Hamid, the Broster, and the other all improving around about a similar time span. And just taking one place at a time, I guess, at the table.
While the Scotsman, Max Skillen, aka Evan's favourite, if you know, you know, is now coming up towards Stowe Corner now then.
11 Burn was quite critical of Max Skillen, particularly during the 2018 season. However, I think he's improved in form since then, and while there were questions if he should have had the seat in 2019, I think those questions have died down. He deserves to be on the grid for 2020.
But whether he can make it to the top class or not is another question.
Yes, indeed. And also, on the topic of Max Skillen, let's not forget, he is the most recent pole sitter in GP2. He took pole in Brazil at Sao Paulo. Of course, the race didn't go that great for him, but he did take pole for it. That's Hamid improves again to go 6th fastest.
Meanwhile, Zorbak goes into 14th to get in front of Farina. So Hamid, as mentioned, you just said there, getting himself above Chobot at this point. Patel currently in last, remains in last at the moment.
Brodzuk has improved right behind Patel. He goes up into 4th place.
So he's getting himself now into the mix basically now then, and of course Protz, you could say he's probably one of the favourites to try and go for the title, but we've seen many times in GP2 that things can usually change, basically flip itself, so to speak. Broster continuing to put in lap after lap, just only 2 tenths now away from Curtis.
Yep. Last season, of course, Dudu Kirby, even though he wasn't that great in testing, stunned everyone and actually won the title as a rookie, so you never know who could get it. Sure, Brodzuk might be an early favorite, but you never know until we actually get going on race day.
We're out of Woodcut now then, as Patelli's up on his personal best in the first sector, but he is currently holding up someone. In the meantime, Suto goes up into 13th ahead of Watson.
Curtis is coming in.
The man currently at the top of the timing sheet so far, having a better second day with his new team Trident. Of course, it was not the best of days for him yesterday, of course, but it seems that things are better around here at Silverstone.
So it seems that Tomaselli's now gone quickest of all.
The man who was pretty much a quali master, you'd have to say, last season, Lorenzo Tomaselli, he now gets to the top by only 9,000 of a second. The top four,
Yep, indeed.
only separated by around 800ths of a second.
Yep, Tomaselli, while he excelled in qualifying, Hamid takes P1, so Tomaselli didn't even last that long, as Brosters made a major error here in the chapel.
Yeah, and he was on and improving again as well. But as you just said there, Hamid in the MP Motorsport has now gone to the top. So currently first and sixth so far for the two MP Motorsports.
Champions looking strong today.
Indeed, and as that mistake definitely cost Proster a chance to probably improve even further.
Definitely. I want to say about Tomaselli, he had an incredible form in qualifying last season as Patel goes up to 19th. But in the races, he didn't have the greatest pace or the greatest luck. You could argue he should have won Belgium, but he had a problem, unfortunately, as Pernian improves to go 11th.
As Farina made a little mistake there. But yeah, we know that Tomaselli has got some pace. We've seen it several times. He's been in GP2, but for whatever reason, he just never seems to have the luck. Well, he'll be hoping that this season he finally gets that good luck, because I think he does have the pace to win a title. It's just, like I said, he just needs to get that luck.
Yeah, indeed. You can remember Spa, he was leading and looked set to win. However, he had a problem. He had to make an earlier pit stop, which left him Prix. And the early pit stop compromised his race, and he ended up finishing P4. As Kyle Burns has improved to go 9th fastest.
Watson, meanwhile, has gone up into 7th place. Just thought I'd bring that up.
Oh, it was Watson, not Burns. My bad. Thank you, Joe.
But as he was saying there, I think you were about to say that Suto had improved to go to 15th.
Yes, he has as well. Meanwhile, Hentos and Onome were on board with him, and he's battling one of the damn cars. I'm not quite sure who it is, but he goes for it into Vale. Looks like he's got him. Not.
He hasn't. Yeah, he kind of tricked you there a little bit there. It seemed that the Dan's had a little bit more grunt in it. I'm trying to figure out which one it is. Is it Graf? I'm going to presume it's probably Graf that's in front that's holding up Synonym at the moment.
The automatic camera were a little bit nicer. We would find out.
I'm just looking around to see. I think it is Graf in fact, because Kulizek is in the pit, so I think that is Graf that's in front.
Either way, here goes Santos Inonomec, gaining in the slipstream on the Wellington Straight. He's gonna try to get him as Penyan improves again, go up into 11th.
Still in 11th, but still not able to break into the top 10. He was.
Hento is up 9 on 100 in the first sector as Broster improves to go into 5th place. Just 100 behind Waldinger. Oh boy,
Still, you've got to say, he's showing some pretty encouraging pace in his first GP2 outings.
Yeah, absolutely. He is definitely an eye-opener so far. And I think you gotta keep an eye on him for the rest of the season as Watson improves once again.
Synonym is green in the first sector, but whether Graf will have an impact on it in front, we'll have to wait and see. Let's see what his middle sector is like as he comes through Beckett's and then through Chapel.
Well, he is in last place, so you'd expect him to improve, which he does, even with the traffic. He's up 1.5 tenths on his personal best. If he manages to get last place, it will send Graf's teammate Kulisic down to last. But in this traffic, I'm not sure he'll be able to keep it up in Sector 3.
He was able to get some healthy slipstream down at Hanger Straight, so that might be able to give him a little bit of a boost.
Let's hope so for his sake. Here goes him to Stinonoma, and he's gonna cross the line very shortly onto Hamilton. Let's see, crossing the line he goes. How much can he improve? 3 tenths. He goes up into 16th. Even with the traffic, he was able to find some speed.
Also, meanwhile, he's on an improvement, so let's see. He's currently in 7th place. How close can he get to his teammate Hamid? As he
Maybe he can go quickest of all. Let's see. Can! By 1/10 of a second.
It's currently now an MP Motorsport 1-2 with Protsuk ahead of Hamid.
Yep, indeed. Alain Curtis was on top. I quickly wanted to touch on him as he just gone out on track. I wanted to touch on him. He's already topped the test before. In 2018 at the Jello, day 2, he was on top of that. He'll be hoping to get back on top of this Silverstone day and make it his second ever testing day that he stopped. As now Ruslan Protiuk is on another lap, but this time he's losing pace. Gwen has improved meanwhile to go 17th.
Synonym is trying to find a way through on Graf, but still struggling, so might not be able to find any more improvement as Watterson improves a bit more in 8th position.
Yep, indeed. Meanwhile, I think Graf's got his tires up to temperature. He might be able to pull away from the McLaren test driver.
Through into Copse Corner now, then goes Protsu, because he's got a couple of cars right in front of him at the moment.
Yep, indeed. Here goes Sinonome. He can drag around the outside of Graf into Stoke Corner. This could be bold, but he wasn't brave enough. I wouldn't say brave enough, but just didn't have the grip and the confidence to go for the move.
Into the left and right handers now, then we go. And so now out of Club Corner we go. Making our way onto the pit straight. He'll get some slipstream, but it won't be enough to improve, so he will stay in 16th at this point in time, as Watterson is trying to find a way through on Hamid at the moment.
Can tell it's Hamid because of that KFC logo. Also the fact that it hasn't got the AlphaTauri colors.
Exactly. As speaking of which, Protsuk is now getting caught up to the back of this trap pit, which consists of Quintino and one of the high-tech cars. I believe that's Chobart.
Yep, indeed, and Quintino closing the door there into Village. He's kept Protsuk behind.
Out of the arena corner now, then, before making his way down towards the Wellington Straight.
Indeed.
Now into
5
Brooklyn's
seconds down,
corner.
no surprise there, but Nguyen has improved again.
And again up on his personal best in the first sector, but again still being held up by Dennis Graf. He's probably getting a bit frustrated at the moment. It's a Japanese driver.
Yeah, indeed, and you have to wonder, what would he be able to do if he didn't have the traffic?
He'd probably improve a lot more as Protsy tries to find a way through on Quintino into Copse Corner. And but it doesn't seem like he's able to
the
do
outside, he was able to keep him back.
Now through into Maggots and then into Beckett's we will go. And then it will soon go into Chapel Corner. Now onto the Hangar Street we go as Proxy tries to go on the outside. As Skillen goes up into second place, 13 thousandths of a Proxy. So he splits the two MP Motorsports.
Great effort from the high-tech man as Protsuk has finally got him around the outside. That was a beautiful move.
Yeah, indeed. And see if he's able to push a little bit.
See how much more grip he's got than the Brazilian.
I think Quintino's been out there for quite a while, it must be said. So probably struggling with
He's
grip at the
already
moment.
losing touch. He's going to fall into the clutches of that Trident behind him shortly.
As now we look at Valdingo, who's trying to find a way through on Tomaselli now. Then as they go side by side through Stowe, is he going to do a similar move like Protsy? Yes, he will do.
And from this bird's eye view, it was incredible pass. Such a shame he had to pit right after it, though. Meanwhile, Zorbach has improved.
And it was mentioned that the Sega logo has actually been fixed on this car, I believe. So
I did mention it early on.
Yeah. Well, I've only just read that, so I thought I'd bring that up in case anybody has only just tuned in.
Nguyen improves yet again after the 13th, the Vietnamese driver. And I gotta say, we've had a lot of Southeast Asian drivers come through to the lower tiers recently. It's very good to see them. There's quite a lot of people, and they all seem to be quite fast.
Watterson, meanwhile, has improved to go into 9th position, so a bit more improvement there for the Kiwi.
Indeed, both him and his teammate Curtis had similar 2019 seasons. Both of them finished on the podium a good number of times. And they'll be hoping, like that in Trident, to transfer victories here and then.
And then again getting out by Graf, and he was quick. He had a better second sector, it must be said, but I wonder if that part there into Stowe Corner has affected him again.
He's lost so much downforce behind the dams. I really think he's gonna struggle to improve in sector 3, but let's see. Nonome crosses the line. Does improve, only narrowly though. Stays in 19th, as Watts also improves.
Meanwhile also improved, but remains in 17th.
Indeed, and Shironoma will be coming into the pits in this lap. Clearly he's had enough of Graf, but he'll be trying to get one pass in before he pits. Try to do a Wallinger maybe. As Zorbach improves to stay 18th fastest.
And set an identical time to Wattsall.
Thank God they're not gonna have to line up on the grid tomorrow or anything.
Oh yeah, well I actually don't know who would actually be ahead in terms of the ART or HWA, but luckily it doesn't matter. So
Indeed. Anyway, Ruslan Protiuk is chasing hard after the high tech of Wojtek Kulesic. No, not Kulesic, sorry, of Adam Chobot. And he's gonna try to get past him, but not into Brooklyn. He's not close enough. This will be his last lap before he pits as Joel Warson has improved yet again. He's gone up into 6th place. Just 200 down his teammate Curtis.
5th and 6th. Now, that was a big lockup happened there. I don't know if that was Nguyen or Tomaselli in front that did the lockup.
It wasn't Nguyen.
Meanwhile, Kulesic improves but remains in last position, so still behind Patel at the moment.
And Joe, I'd like to talk to you about the driver lineups. Like we could go for each team, or maybe what lineups do you think look very strong or interesting? For example, I think the HWA that we're looking at right now is a very interesting one. It's got Zorbach, who is extremely experienced, and also Broster, who has shown quite some promise early on, being fastest yesterday and in the top 10 today.
MP Motorsports, you have to say as well, have also been looking very quick over these last 2 days. Protsuk and Hamid showing some great pace at that point, as there was nearly some contact there.
Yeah, indeed. I think Trident and Unai Virtuosi are very interesting as well. I've already touched on Trident. Both their drivers had similar seasons last year. They were both competitive. They could take it up to the next level, but Unai Virtuosi, of course, Patel, now he has a lot of overall pace. He just needs to have a little bit more luck. And Perignon, I don't think we need to say anything more about him. The guy's a legend already.
As meanwhile, as you were saying, that Zorbach got up into 15th position in the HWA.
Indeed. Meanwhile, the car livery that used to belong to Patel is under pressure from Han Nguyen.
So now then, he's up on his personal best, so it looks like he's going to be trying to find some more time to extract. And he's got some cars in front, but he shouldn't be able to get onto the back of them by the end of this lap. So let's see where Brewster can end up.
He's got 4 seconds to those cars in front. He should have clean air as he goes in towards Club Corner. He should be able to improve getting onto the Hamilton Straight. Can he go fastest? Let's see. Perignon has improved to go 4th. What about Broster? He goes 3rd.
Some big improvements now then from both Broster and Perinen, of course. Perinen getting himself up into the top 5, or as Yuri likes to call him, Jesus.
He goes 21st fastest.
Yeah, Kulesic gets out of last, so that pushes Patel now down to the back of the field. The pack separated by 1.1 seconds at this point. Curtis coming back into the pits this lap as he's being held up by both Chobot and Patel at the moment.
Yeah, not a good day for Patel at home, I'm afraid. He's still got half an hour in which to try to rectify things. And Chobot is going to try to go for a move on the grid, actually.
Indeed. Well, let's be clear here. Patel has not got the best of memories here at Silverstone. Let's flash back to last season. I know he doesn't want me to mention it, but...
And I said he's trying to make a move on the Brit, but Rahul Patel, starting this season, actually is racing with the Indian flag. Last season, he did a little bit of a mishmash. At the European and the American race, at the European races, he ran the British flag. At the Asian races, he ran the Indian flag. Now he's going to run the Indian flag the entire season.
Because, of course, we do have that new rule which states that you can only run one nationality during the course of the season. You can change it between sign-ups, of course, so you can have a different nationality for the following season, but you can't do it in between, so to speak.
I guess, either way, Rahul Patel has lived his entire life, was born and raised in England, he's lived his entire life there. But this is a home track no matter what the flag on his display says.
Indeed, as Patel and Chobot go side by side through Brooklands and Lovefield, and maybe even through as Broster goes fastest. There you go.
4/100 out of Protsiuk, and he's done it again.
We were wondering if he was going to get to the top. Well, he has now. 1:37.816, 400s quicker than Ruslan Protsiuk. Broster, the man who topped yesterday, goes to the top of the session here at Silverstone at the moment.
Also pointing out, Kulesic has climbed another place. He's gone up into 20th.
Indeed, as through into Cop's Corner goes Santina Andrioli. As meantime, Jose Frederic Suto is up on his personal best in the first sector. As he'll now make his way towards... Through Lovefield we go before he approaches Woodcote. And we'll see what his second sector is like, because he's got no traffic around him, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem for the Slovakian drivers. Meantime, Perinen is getting stuck to the back of Hamid at the moment, and also having one of the HWA cars behind. But Perinen, he's coming back into the pits this lap anyway. But is he able to pull the move off? No, he's not.
I think he's going to be overtaken by the HWA here. Yeah, Broster's gone through.
The man who currently tops the session at the moment, he just found a gap on the inside after Perillin's failed attempt at passing Hamid and managed to get through in between them.
I think Broster is going to try to do a Wallinger from last season. And that could leave the Hungarian a little bit irked, but I'm not sure.
On the hanger straight we go. Broster going to try and put a pass now on Hamid into Stowe corner, which is he able to? And no.
He's got similar amounts of grip there. But anyway, Perinian and Hamid are both coming into the pits.
And the pits in will still know. Well, what a shame, he's behind some traffic again.
Yep, indeed. And I think that appears to be Androli, if I'm not wrong. Or it could be Wallinger, as Schutter has improved. He goes 16th fastest.
In front of Quintino at the moment through Brooklyn.
There's also Tomaselli in this little train of cars that is impeding Antosinonome.
Tomaselli at the moment currently in 6th position at the moment in this session, so probably due to the fact that he's been on them tyres for quite a while, that's probably why he's holding up these drivers at the moment. It's Andrioli who's behind him, but he's coming into the pits this lap.
He is.
Now going through into Maggots and Beckett's, they will soon go. There's hello Luca, who's just joined us in the chat, Luca Farina. Currently you're P21 at the moment, so maybe need to find a bit more improvement in this session. Side by side they go down a hanger straight before approaching Stowe, but Andrew really thinks better of it. He's coming into the pits this lap anyway, so he doesn't really need to go for an overtake, but you know. Beckett and then into Chapel we will now go. Suto tries to find a way through on one of the ALTs there, but Suto, just like with Andrioli, which you saw a little bit earlier, was coming into the pits this lap, so this won't really matter too much. As Tomaselli in fact starts his lap, so in fact he's only just come out of the pit, so a bit strange that he's holding up people when he should be on fresh tyres.
It's gone side by side with Sironome into Abbey. It has definitely ruined his lap. I was reading back through the chat meanwhile on my phone, and Evan said if this race ends up either being Imola or Manicura and scrapping any updates to F2 next season. Oh well, let's hope for his sake there won't be either of them. But you don't know that I'm not allowed to tell you just yet. Brosser has improved yet again, meanwhile he's 2 tenths in front now.
Well, Quintino has improved to go up into 15th. He gets himself in front of Nicolas Zorbach, so getting between both Andrioli and Zorbach right now. 15 thousandths behind the Frenchman at the moment. Is Sinnem going to try and pass on Tomaselli into Cops?
No harm in taking your shots, but I don't think it'll be successful for the Japanese driver. No, I'm afraid not. The Red Bull and McLaren test drivers are battling it out.
Yep. And the battle of the test drivers. So far, in fact, we've got a few test drivers in the field. Valding, meanwhile, goes up to 4th.
Indeed, showing some good pace. He may not have been on top yesterday, but he's definitely carrying the form he had in testing last season, and he is being quick.
On the hanger straight now, then we go, as
Perignan has just gone out on track meanwhile.
As Sendenham has finally managed to get by on Tomaselli there, so he should be able to get a clean lap next time round.
Assuming he doesn't pit.
Assuming, yeah, but I think he's only just come out, so I wouldn't
Speaking
expect
of
him to
pitting,
pit.
looks like Alex Broster will be coming in, and this time he's wearing his tires out quite a lot. Must have been a push lap. Massive push lap he was doing earlier. I wouldn't call it glory run. Either way, he doesn't seem to have much left in his tires. He's a second down and coming into the pits.
He just realised that the car still has an Arden logo on it, so I don't know if everyone will want to change that to a HWA logo on the back of Broster's car there. So
hey, Christian Horner is probably paying some good money to have his advertisement. Okay. All right.
Well, it is meant to be HWA on the back there, so yeah, that's that. As one of the Dams cars is just coming out onto the track, not sure which one that is.
It has to be Kulisic because Garf is already on track.
Okay, fair enough. As we look at Chobot, who's in the garage at this point in time, and I think he's just checking to see if there's any Alpha Channel issues going on. As we now look at Sinanome, who's actually coming into the pits this lap, so rule irony.
Oh my god. Oh my god, I didn't want to jinx him, but sadly I did.
Darn. Well, hopefully next time he comes out on the track, he should be able to get a clear track in front of him, unless he gets caught in more traffic.
Okay, the next jinx is on you then. I don't feel guilty anymore.
Already jinxed him once with the pit stop there, so...
Yeah, true.
Anyway, back to the
Sort
action.
of
We've got
Hamid has
Hamid
just
and
started his
Perinin.
lap. Indeed. But these guys came
Yeah.
out on track pretty close to each other, and they're close to each other in the table, separated by only 3/1000ths of a second. Tomaselli is very close too.
Now look at Watterson now. Then he makes his way down towards Cop's corner.
I want to ask you,
No.
Joe. I probably asked this a million times, but I'm asking you 1,000,001. What do you think of Silverstone in particular? Do you think it's I think it's a wonderful track for racing. You can already see some great battling. But what's your opinion?
Well, trying not to be biased here because, of course, I'm British, but I'm not saying this because I'm British, of course, but it is one of the best racetracks in the world, and obviously a staple on the F1 calendar and should not ever be removed at all, of course. I mean, hence why when we go into the fantasy era, it's one of the 4. I think we're branding it as the 4 special tracks that have the infinite
Permanent?
contract, basically. So,
Also,
with
want to
Spa,
point out
Monaco, and
Quintino
Monza.
is gone up into 14th place, and Bernard did make an overtake into Cobbs on Hamid.
Let's. I don't know if he's going to be pitting next lap, but we'll just check, because if he doesn't, then he should be able to get a clean lap unless somebody comes out of the pits just in front of him.
Well, here goes Mrs. Bernard. He's having a much better day than he did yesterday. Clearly, the debrief, in Virtuosi camp worked out well for him, and he'll be coming in.
He's not going to be able to get a clear lap then. As we look at Nguyen now, then he's stuck behind one of the HWAs. That would be. In fact, I don't know. In fact, no, I think it's Zorbach actually, because it's got a sponsor on the back of it. So I think this is Zorbach that Nguyen's currently getting held up by at the moment.
I'm not sure I can see the Jägermeister logo there, actually.
I
No, it's
think it
not.
is on.
It's Broster.
I don't think it is because there's a sponsor on the rear wing. So
Let's just double check. It is actually Zorbach. You're right, I was wrong.
it's got the Jägermeister on the rear wing. So
I just couldn't tell it apart. Anyway, we're on board with Alex Broster, who is out on track, of course. He's gone back out. The Max... That was not Max Skillen. It was Hesperian who was also up on his best lap. I was thinking of Skillen's delivery from last season, but he's changed teams, of course. And here we have Skillen continue and improves again to go 13th quickest.
towards the left and right hands. Quintino, meanwhile, gets up into 13th to get in front of Nguyen at the moment, as Valding is on improving at the moment in the Premier, but he's currently in 4th. Let's see how much he's going to improve by. We'll look on the left-hand side as Broster's about to start next lap.
Valinger can find just a few hundreds of a second to be up in 2nd place, so let's see how much momentum he can carry, as Zorbach is being quite slow at the moment in beating Nguyen.
I think Valdinger might have lost time in the last sector because there was no improvement on the left-hand side of the timing tower, so I think he's lost time in that last sector.
Joe, and also as an expert of this track, what tips would you give to the drivers in GP2?
Well, basically, it's about speed here, really, isn't it? There's a lot of high-speed corners, really. So, really, it's really about carrying momentum around these corners, especially when you're trying to go for an overtake. So, really,
Nguyen has gone for the overtake. He's gone past Zorbach. Sorry to interrupt.
Indeed. Basically, all I'd say is advice is to basically just keep the flow, keep your momentum around this track, of course, because it is very easy to make a mistake, as we've seen a few times in this session, especially around at Beckett's.
Indeed, even Brasser, man on top, made an error there, if you can remember, at Chapel, so everyone can make one. As Chopot has got up into 11th fastest.
Into P11 he goes, just one place outside the top 10. Graf, of course, currently in the cusp of the top 10 in Adam's car. And so Andreoli now then going around Luffield corner, currently in 15th, as Quintino gets a checkered flag next to his name.
Just came into a pits a few seconds ago, now he's finished for the day.
Indeed. Now, when people get the checkered flag next to their names, that don't necessarily mean that their session is that's their session done with. It just basically means the next time they come into the pits, that will be them done with. So they'll still have a few laps pelting around before. So I think we're at that point now where we're going to see people getting the checkered flag next to their name. Watterson also getting it, as well as Valdinger, meanwhile, goes up to 2nd.
Lap there, good lap.
Yep, so a good time there from Valdinger. The top 2 being so far the same as it was yesterday. In order for it to have the top 3 be the same, Patel needs to try and find around over a second, basically.
Well, it's not Patel, but at the moment Ruslan Protyuk is there in 3rd of the guys who are in the running for AlphaTauri. So I guess we got a little bit of coincidence going around.
Yep, as coming out of Cop's corner goes Watzel now then, currently down on his
I
personal
want to
best
also
of the
touch
sector,
on.
but he's coming into
Don't
pits
be
this lap.
afraid when you see the checkered flags this early, guys, as Protuk has just got his, so as Patel. Speaking of these two earlier, the checkered flag rules, maybe like this for testing, they can keep going, but for qualifying, it's not gonna be like that. If you have the checkered flag next to your name in qualifying, that's it, you're done.
Yeah, indeed, because you get a maximum amount of laps in qualifying, of course, and it's usually around 4 flying laps that they do in GP2.
But has improved again, but he couldn't gain a position. He is still 11th.
Still needs to find a few hundreds to get in front of Graf at the moment, as Tomaselli will be starting his next flying lap very, very soon, as he currently lies in 7th place behind Jesus Perinen at the moment.
Indeed, as Lorenzo Tomaselli is beginning his lap, he got some good pace at the minute, as he carries all that speed into Abbey, and then into Farm. But flat out in this section, even in these lower downforce GP2 cars, you can still go flat out. You're not exactly a 2021 Haas or anything. So here it goes. Through the loop and into Aintree. This one is flat and probably one of the most important corners when it comes to lap time. You need to keep your foot to the floor and just trust the car that will not unsettle. As Broster improves again, he's fastest and he's got the checkered flag.
136.607 now for Broster. That's just over a 10th clear now of Bence Valdinger at this point in time.
I want to check what the best lap was here last season, of course. If anyone can look it up for me real quick, it'll be much appreciated.
I think I'm going to do that now, in fact, because we obviously keep the lap times on the Wikipedia. So,
right.
Obviously, it was Bence Valdinger who topped it last season, and he did a 1:37.354.
Alright, well that was quick, thanks Joe. Broster may be beating Valdinger today, but I don't think he's going to beat his time from last season.
Yeah, he needs to find just under 3 tenths if he wants to do that.
Well, he doesn't have much time left to do it, as Chabot improves again. Still in 11th place, but he's got the checkered flag this time. Because once Broster comes in, that'll be the end of his session.
As Watterson, this is his session done with because he's got the pit symbol and he's got the checkered flag next to his name, so we'll be seeing him peel off into the pits. Top 10 at the moment, so I'd say so far a decent session for him, but still, he's still being outpaced at the moment he's going to be outpaced by Curtis in the session as Valdinger. I get by him into Stowe, and and there you go.
I don't think Warson will be that discouraged, though. He's only 200 down on his teammate Curtis, and both of them are in the top 10. As I said earlier, they are a strong pairing for the driver's lineup. Who knows, Giant may have struck gold with it.
Who knows, as Valdinger crosses the line, he does not improve, but he's got a clear track in front, so he might be able
He's
to
also got the checkered
some
flag
more
just now. He's not going to have many more chances. Meanwhile, Chabot is battling for position.
As they go through Magnus and Beckett's Hamid, I believe that was now, that's got the checkered flag next to his name. So
is that Burns or is that Suto? Because if it's Suto, it'll be the two Slovaks fighting each other.
I think from the looks of it, it might be it's Burns. I thought it was.
Meanwhile, Farina has improved to go 13th quickest, just behind Burns, as a matter of fact.
So far, then, if I count, there's only 5 more drivers who still need to get the checkered flag next to their name. That being Kulazek, Andrioli, Burns, Tomaselli, and Perinin.
So it seems we got 16 drivers who are done. We're just running on these 5. All done until they come into the pits, of course. Judging by the minimap, there's a whole lot more than just 5 cars on the track.
As they now make their way towards turn 3 now then. Now into the
he's
left
just come into the pit. I wonder if he'll get the checkered flag as he's being put into his garage or not. Yes, it does. He's done.
Yep, indeed. As now they make their way down the Wellington Straight. And down on his personal best in the first sector now is Carl Burns. But at the moment, with just under 14 minutes to go, the leaderboard currently looks like this. It's Broster at the top with Valdinger in second, and it's Protsuk in third, Skill in fourth, Hamid fifth, Perinin in sixth, Tomaselli in seventh, Curtis 8th, Watterson 9th, Graf in 10th, Chobot in 11th, then Burns 12th, Farina in 13th position, got there in the end, Quintino in 14th, Nagu in 15th, Andrioli 16th, Zorbak 17th, Suto in 18th, Watzel 19th, Sinanome in 20th, with Kulazek in 21st, and in 22nd and last at the moment is Rahul Patel.
Yep. Joe may be struggling a little bit with the names, but I sure bet he's glad he doesn't have to pronounce that turn 10 from Erez name anymore, as Farina has improved again.
to go over to 13th. Meanwhile, Synonome is currently on an improvement, down in 20th at the moment. Let's see if he's able to find a little bit more improvement in the McLaren liveried car lane.
Well, we've been jinxing him all session long, I'm afraid, but this time he's finally got some clean air.
Through Beckett's and then into Chapel. Let's see what his middle sector is going to be like. And it's 700 up, so he needs to find a little bit more if he wants to get a lot higher than 20th.
Well, if he keeps it like this, assuming his sector 3 is as personal best, we'll be up a place. He'll be past Watson, but let's see.
And your way down towards Vale and then into Clubs. Left under and then into the double right we go. And
here it goes. Blink shotting onto the Hamilton, straight goes into Synonome. Let's see if he can improve. He can, up into 18th. He's gained 2 places. Picked up an extra 10th in the last sector there, and he's still going. Thousandths
off of Zorbach at this point in time. As only Andrioli and Perinen are left to get the checkered flags next to their name.
Yep, of course. But as we've gone through before, it doesn't mean the others are done yet. As Perinen has just improved massively, and then his graph is also improving. He's gone purple in Sector 1.
By only 1,000th in the first sector compared to Broster, so he needs to continue to pick up that pace in the second sector if he wants to build on that.
Yeah, absolutely. Meanwhile, Saturna Andrioli is the only one that doesn't have the checkered flag yet, but he will get it soon.
As now coming out of Cop's corner goes Graf. Let's see what Maggots and Beckett's is like for the German. As Farina, meanwhile, goes up into 11th position. Farina up into 11th, just outside the top 10. Behind this man, of course, who looks like he's going to be improving at the moment.
Andrioli has improved. Meanwhile, he's up to the 16th place. Graf is last time in the last sector, though.
I've jinxed him there. Well done, Joe.
Oh, man.
Must have a jinxing power or something like that, a little bit like Michael Clark does in the stream chat.
Oh my goodness. I guess Clark's energy has transferred over to you while he's AFK.
He knows really. But anyway, Graf coming around the final turn.
Joe, I just hope you won't jinx the next Indy 500.
Oh, we'll see.
You cannot remember what Clark did there. Taking the win away from Link Campana and giving it in the end to Feng Chao Janet.
Synonome crosses the line and only
1,000
up his personal
this
best.
is out of improving. That's close.
Perinen, who's up in 3rd position, a very good session for the 2019 BTCC champion, you'd have to say.
Yeah, very much so. Over a second ahead of his teammate Patel, and he's still going, but he can improve on this time.
Obviously, I mentioned yesterday about Perinin. He's got some good memories with this track, given that he won the BTCC title here last season. So,
how many rounds where did you win it with, Joe? Because you're the host of that, of course, so you know.
Well, the team he won it with. It was the...
No. How many rounds did he have to spare when he won it?
It was the 4th to last race he won it, so...
Alright. Thanks. Well, that was a great performance from him back then, and clearly the good memories are flowing.
Andrioli, meanwhile, got up into 15th, so we were talking there. Chobot goes into the pits to finish off his session as we now look at Kyle Burns. Out of Club Corner we go. Now making the way onto the straight. See what Burns can do. And he does not improve at this point in time. I don't know if Rob is still here. I keep hearing funny noises in my head, so... But that's that. There's a Synonome now then. Goes through Vale and then into Club. So, are you there, Rob, by the way? You might be having some problems at the moment, is Rob. As Synonome does not improve. Remains in 18th position, and I think that's his session done with, because I think I saw the pit symbol next to his name. As we look at Perinin now then, going around the final turn, see what he can do, and he does not improve, remains in 3rd position. Are you there this time, Rob? Oh, okay. Farina now then, going around Stowe, as he now goes into the pits. His session is now completed. Andrioli on the track. There's only a few cars left on track now then. I think Perinen's coming back into the pits, if I'm not mistaken. His session, I think, has come to a close. And Perinen, no, in fact, he's not coming into the pits. He's still going to be going around. It's another guy who had the checkered flag next to, who had the pit symbol.
Well, I'm back.
There you go. Meanwhile, Andreoli on his final lap has gone up into 14th position. Rob?
Yep. Just a pointer though, I switched to my phone, so I won't be able to actually watch the screen share. So when it comes to the results, you'll have to read all, Joe.
Alright. Okay, well, Burns is coming down the pitch straight. Across the line, he does not improve. He's going to continue for another lap as Synonym is finished for the day. Meanwhile, Perinen is up on his personal best in the first sector. Let's see what his middle sector is like. He's up on Broster, so Perinen could still get the top of the timing sheets. 800's up on Broster in the middle sector. So let's see
if he can pull it off.
We're into Stowe corner then, goes the Spaniard. As he just misses the curb on the exit there. Is he able to prevent Broster from making it 2 days in a row where he tops the session? Perinen through into club corner now then. And now into the final turn goes the Spaniard. Down the pitch straight, across the line. Goes the test road. And no, he only goes second. He misses out by 800 of a second. But P2 for Perinen that time by getting himself in front of Valdinger. And he's still going round. He hasn't got the pit symbol just yet.
Yep, indeed. Clearly Hesperonian feeling much more confident. Paradoxically, I guess, in Britain rather than in some country.
As meanwhile, we'll look at Burns. He's still going to be going around. I think it's only just Burns and Perinen that's left to do laps because I think the other car, it's only just Burns and Perinen left to complete laps. So down through Chapel then goes Kyle Burns as he's way down on his personal best in the middle sector, 5/10 to be exact, just over half a second. As now
the screen share may not be working, but I am watching the stream meanwhile, so I will be able to read the results with you, as we are on board with Burns, I believe.
We are still on board with Burns. Through into Vale and into Club Corner. Now down the pit straight now, then we'll go the American Kyle Burns. Let's see what he's able to do, and he does not improve, and he's still going to have another lap under his belt. So he's not finished just yet, with just over 6 minutes to go on the clock. What is Perinen doing, who's also out there on the track at the moment? As Perinen is still doing another lap, I just want to point out. And he's down on his personal best in the middle sector. I wonder if he's coming back into the pits the next lap. Let's see. As he now comes up towards Vale and Club. The left, then into the right. And heading down the pit straight will go Jesus. Let's see what he can do. He does not improve, and he's still doing another lap, so he still feels he can do a little bit more running with these tyres that he's got on at the moment, as he remains in second place at this point in time. As mentioned, it's only Kyle Burns and Jesus Perinen that are left to do laps here at Silverstone. And through Cops Corner.
Yep, indeed.
And he's currently still down on his personal best at this point in time. Through Maggots, then into Beckett's Corner goes the American. Fligging the car in through the section of corners. Then down
of course, Chapel. This track has been a host of a good memory for Kyle Burns. He finished 4th here, I believe, 2 seasons ago. Now that he's been given a lifeline to stay in GP2, he might have a shot to finally get a podium there.
We'll see, of course, as Burns now then makes his way down towards left-hander, flicking the car in from the left. Into the double right-hander will go the American. See if this is going to be his final lap. I'm just going to keep an eye on his death panel because he's not up on his personal best, and it is. That is his final lap. So Burns is done for the day. He finishes in 13th position as Perinen is 2/10 down on his personal best in the middle sector. I wonder if this is going to be the Spaniard's last lap.
Should be.
We'll see.
We're on board with him.
Through into Stowe Corner we go, as he now makes his way down towards Vale and Club. Flicking the car in for the left, then into the double right. Now into the final corner and onto the pit straight goes Jesus Perinen. And is this his final lap? Yes, it is. He did not improve and he finished the session at second. So there you have it. That is day 2 of pre-season testing done with, the final day of the 2022 pre-season test. And your final leaderboard is as follows. It's Broster at the top with Perinen in second, Valdinger in third, Proxiuk in fourth, Skillen in fifth with Hamid in sixth, Tomaselli in seventh, then it is Curtis in eighth, Watterson in ninth, followed by Graf in 10th, Farina in 11th, then Chobot 12th, Burns 13th, Andreoli 14th, Quintino 15th, Nguyen in 16th with Zorbach 17th, Sinanome in 18th, Suto 19th, Watzel 20th, Kulizek 21st, and Patel in 22nd and last, meaning Broster, for the second season in a row, a driver has topped both days of pre-season testing.
Yep, indeed, Alex Broster will be surely feeling very happy about that. Mens Vallinger once again in top 3. This man clearly has some great form, and he's gonna carry all that momentum he gained with that second place finish in Brazil. And yeah, Jesus Perignon, a very impressive showing after a disappointing day 1. I think this was a very interesting day. Don't you say, Joe?
Yeah, indeed. Obviously, Perrin didn't get off to the best of starts yesterday in preseason testing, but he's definitely bounced back today with a brilliant second place. But will he be able to continue that going into the season? That is going to be another question.
Apart from these guys, I want to ask you, Joe, which other drivers seem to impress you? Because I think we got many of the usual suspects, I'd say, doing very well today. We got Protsiuk and Skillen, and also Tomaselli and Curtis, and Graf and Watterson. These guys are all very impressive, but you also got to give credit to Usman Hamid. He did quite well.
Hamid's looked pretty strong. Of course, you can't discount Broster either. He's obviously been strong in both days. It'll be interesting to see how he does. Valdinger, obviously, again, showing some strong pace along with Protsiuk as well. And who knows, really? Maybe Perinen can continue this into the season. Maybe even Curtis as well. He showed some strong pace today. So,
and don't forget some of the older guard of Watson and Zorbach, and also Patel, I guess. They're very eager to improve on their form. Today may have been an off day, because I'm sure these guys will be hungry and willing to get a good result and get to the first race. And just a few minutes time, you will know what that first race is, but just wait for a session to officially end.
In the menu screen, just to remind you, this is what the order is again for anybody who's just tuned in way too late. It's Alex Broster from Jesus Perinen, then Bence Valdinger, Ruslan Protsiuk, Max Skillen, Mohamed Usman Hamid, then Lorenzo Tomaselli, Aaron Curtis, Joel Watterson, Dennis Graf, Luca Farina, Adam Chobot, Kyle Burns, Santino Andreoli, Gabriel Quintino, Hoang Min Nguyen, Nicholas Zorbach, Hento Sinano, Joseph Frederick Suto, Henry Watsall, Wojciech Kulazek, and Rahul Patel. That is the leaderboard right there then. So, I think, without further ado, we might as well tell the ladies and gentlemen what the first round of the season is going to be.
Yep, indeed. Well, let me preface by saying how the procedure usually works. The GP2 drivers just vote on a track. And one moment.
Okay, well, we're going to continue the suspense, but we do know what the track is. All we can say, it's not Bahrain, like some of you were trying to vote a little bit there without realising that Bahrain is not going to be on there. It's not there, so we'll just wait for the suspense while Rob sorts out what he needs to sort out. So,
yeah,
but well, here he is.
So let me explain. Usually, how it goes is simple. The drivers vote on a bunch of tracks, and in the end, the three ones with the most votes, they're in the calendar. We got a little bit of a problem because you guys have voted for 5 tracks at the most, all tied together at the top. So yeah, we had to decide the first race out of one of those tracks, and I won't tell you what the others were, but the first race of the season, I will tell you, is going to be at the Nurburgring.
It will. Yep, the Nurburgring will play host to the first race of the 2020 season, and it will host the German Grand Prix for GP2. So at least you do have a race in Germany this season for GP2, unlike the top class.
Yep, that's right. So, and it'll be interesting to see Germany at the start of the season, but that's where we're getting it.
Indeed. And, well, it should be very, very interesting to see how the drivers cope at the Nürburgring for the first race of the season.
Yeah, last time we went there in 2017, I believe, it was Lin Campana who took victory there. So I have to ask you, Joe, what do you think of the track?
It's obviously a fantastic track, the Nürburgring. It's obviously known for the Nordschleife mainly, but the Grand Prix track is usually a good track as well. In fact, both Nürburgring and Hockenheim are great tracks, and it's such a shame that in real life, Formula 1 doesn't go to Germany at the moment.
Yep, indeed. And also, guys, don't forget, Nürburgring is confirmed, but the voting is still open, so you can still vote, and maybe the other 4 tracks that are still in the tie, maybe that will get broken, and we'll know later in the season what we're going to get.
Yep. Indeed. Well, that is it then for pre-season testing for GP2. Very interesting 2 days, you'd have to say, Rob.
Yeah, very entertaining. Broster and Valdinger being very solid, but also got some nice surprises.
Indeed. But Until then, that has been it. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Then, obviously, the first race of the season will be taking place next week during the Top Class Bahrain Grand Prix, and of course, as mentioned, it will be at the Nurburgring.
Yep, indeed. But until then, we'll see you guys around. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Good night.
Bye.